Hey, welcome to Everyday Reviews. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. Today we are looking at kind of a middle child. Do you have an older sibling or a younger sibling? Maybe you're a middle child. What happens? Kind of gets forgotten. And Nissan kind of has a middle child. You see there is the smaller, very popular, best-selling Nissan Rogue, and then there is the larger Pathfinder with 3 rows. Well, in the middle is the middle child in the SUV family, and that is the Nissan Murano. Well, we're here in beautiful Franklin, Tennessee to check out the 4th generation 2025 Murano, and Nissan's really hoping that this middle child isn't forgotten as much, with all new style, new interior, and a new power plant with, wait for it, less horsepower. Yes, that's right, but we're gonna get to that in a second. Let's go. The Murano is kind of a special vehicle because it's not a global vehicle. It's only sold in the United States and Canada. And you know what? It kind of needed a makeover. It hasn't really been changed for 10 years. I always thought the Murano, even the very first one in 2002, was kind of almost ahead of its time, very futuristic looking. I was always a fan of the styling. And this one has style, especially if you compare it to the Rogue or the Pathfinder. You have these small little cube headlamps now, but this part is the one that really gets a lot of attention. Well, the popular V-Motion grille is now surrounded on either side by LEDs for the daytime running lights, and it really does a great job. It has a nice flush look. There's a lot going on. You got a two-tone theme on this one. Here you get the black. This is Aurora Pearl Blue, which is exclusive to the Murano, by the way. I like the white contrast in the Nissan badge, and the Murano lettering is very subtle, offset just below the hood there. So yeah, overall, look at this design. What do you think? Okay, underneath this hood is a new power plant. We mentioned that. So gone is the V6. It's replaced with a 2-liter VC, or variable compression turbocharged engine. And yes, it does have less horsepower. So 241 horsepower compared to the 260 in the outgoing model, but it does get a bump in torque by 20, so 260 pound-feet of torque. So it's gonna be interesting how this drives, especially because this is matched not to a CVT or a continuously variable transmission. This is matched to a new 9-speed automatic with this VC turbo. Coming around to the side, the Muranos come with 20-inch alloy wheels. If you go to the top of the line Platinum that we have right here, it gets 21-inch. Now these alloys have a aero cover on them. Okay, there's still an alloy wheel behind there, but they have a cover, which is kind of nice because if you do scrape it up, it's easy to replace, or it's easier to actually change designs of the tire by just changing that cover there. Overall, this is based on a modified version of the previous platform. So the wheelbase is the same, the length is roughly the same, but the vehicle is 3 inches wider. The track is the same too, so the body panels extend wider on this, make it it's a larger vehicle. This is probably my favorite part here, especially with the two-tone black. It's this arch that goes all the way to the front to the back, kind of like a blade, and it just kind of outlines the silhouette of this vehicle, yet it's not compromising the room because this black kind of makes it invisible. Kind of makes me think of the old days of the Infiniti FX series. Yeah, what do you think? Open up that gas cap. We have a capless filler here, and the best thing, this uses regular fuel, no premium needed on this VC turbo. I love how Nissan has really cleaned up the rear, how they've actually tucked the wiper underneath the roof spoiler here. It's just so tidy looking and clean. It's integrated right into that roof spoiler with that third brake light. We come on down here, we have these wraparound LED lamps and this segmented design with this straight across a light bar, and this theme continues on the inside as well. Nice bold Murano lettering. This is the Platinum. No visible tailpipes on here, so once again, clean look. All Muranos come standard with a power tailgate. With the Platinum, you get a hands-free, but if you don't have that, you can just press the button right there. Open it up, And you are greeted with a nice flat floor area, a couple cubbies on the side. Now this cargo area behind the second row has increased by a couple cubic feet. I'll put all the numbers down below there. You have remote handles for the seat releases, and check it out. A lot of people always want to know, lift up the floor. What do we have here? We have an actual spare tire and a jack. In the middle is our subwoofer for our Bose audio system here. Okay, my head's not touching here. You could actually sleep in here if you want to car camp. Give you an idea how long it is. I'm 5'11", and the seat is actually not all the way forward. So yeah, and it's nice and flat. So what do I like? Of course, more room is always good. A spare tire is a big bonus these days. And the power lift also has a lock button, so you can just hit that and walk away, and you don't have to wait for it to close to lock it. Also, this has an auto lock feature. When you get out of the car, walk a certain distance, it'll automatically lock. You can turn that on or off. Let's check out inside. Okay, you look on the inside of this new Murano, and you know what? You really kind of have to say, wow, like, is this, it's kind of like Aria-like, kind of has a Zen type of feel, but it has this premium look and feel of an Infiniti. And you know what, this vehicle kind of reminds me like the Toyota Venza, that latest one, which had a lot of premium features, but it was not a Lexus, it was a Toyota. I'm just wondering if this new Murano will actually take some sales away from Infiniti, but it may actually bring some people into the brand as well. So up front, there's a lot going on here. We have dual 12.3-inch screens. What I like is how they framed it. You have this cover that's kind of shaded the screens a little bit, but it's really stylish with a different colored materials that you have on this. Remember, this is the platinum trim, which is the top of the line, but these dual screens come standard. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and this is a Google-based system, so you can go to the Google Play Store, add some things. They've also added some neat things like these preset templates that you have in here, and like this wallpaper changes according to the time of day. And it's a nice thing. It's very subtle, but it's once again, it's kind of welcoming. There's also different ambient lighting colors that you can do. That's not super uncommon, but this is really neat. Underneath there, they're calling it kind of like Murano glass, because Murano is from Italy. It's a glass, but this isn't real glass. But what they've done is it has this pattern on it that at different angles of light, it kind of changes color. Even without any illumination, and it's very, very unique. You have the nice straight bar with the air vents here, a big volume knob in the center, and below that you have this wooden area that has haptic touch controls, just like the Aria that we saw, except what I've noticed though is the controls feel a lot more positive. Like, it feels like you're pushing a button. I don't know how they can do it, like because it's solid. It's solid panel, but it feels like you're actually doing something. And yeah, so this is probably the next generation of the latest generation of that type of technology. Technology always gets better. We have connectivity by USB-C's, dual there, wireless charging. The gear selectors are button-based and toggle for drive modes. And then we have a camera button, and this Platinum it's the first for the Murano. They call it, it's a little mouthful, it's their HD enhanced 3D intelligent around view monitor. And it has even what they call invisible hood, where it basically superimposes what's underneath you. So many different camera views that you have here. And the 360, if you want to, you just hit that. Now you can actually either spin the car around yourself, or you can just hit whatever angle you want to see the side of the car. It's really, really simple. And I love having a dedicated camera button. It comes in handy if you're in a parking situation. Then steering wheel, nice flat bottom, leather wrapped. You have power, tilt, and telescopic. Once again, another premium feature that, yeah, you don't really normally find common. A head-up display on here. This Platinum does get the panel roof, and it does have a sunshade. Steering wheel controls, you have a wheel on the right side. I love wheels opposed to toggles, but you do have a toggle for your cruise control. But yeah, it's very ergonomic. Even the direction the wheel is slanted toward of how your hands are, so it's not completely straight up and down, it's at an angle. And you have two lights on either side, so when the left side is lit up, your wheel is controlling your left screen. Just press the right side, and now we're controlling the actual right side. Super simple, very easy. You have a nice back button, and yeah, nice feeling wheel, good size. The base SV gets a 6-speaker audio system, whereas the SL and the Platinum get a 12-speaker Bose audio system. We mentioned that subwoofer in the back there. Now these seats though, wow. These are semi-aniline leather seats. They are heated, they're ventilated, and they have massage as well. And what I like, the button for the massage is on the seat bottom, so you don't actually have to go through a menu on here. So yeah, it's pretty good. I do find it's a little bit loud if you're just sitting there. If you're driving, you really don't notice it at all. Storage-wise, a deep storage here. We got our water bottle and our key in here. We also have additional storage underneath here, great for your bags or your sunglasses. On the mirror, we do have our remote for our home links if you want to put that to your garage door. But overall, I'm really, really impressed on how good it looks and feels. Like this, it's very, very premium. It really is. All right, sitting in the back. Driver's seat is set to where I would actually have it. I'm just under 5'11". Look how much legroom I have. This is the first time I've actually sat back here. And how they've gained some rear seat passenger room is they've actually carved out the back of the front seats, and it really does work. But even without carving it out, look how much room I still have. And good room for my feet as well. They fit completely under. I'm really surprised. I didn't expect this much legroom. It's a lot. Of course, these seats do not actually slide forward and back. They're comfy. Why? Because Nissan uses the zero gravity seats in the front, and now zero gravity seats in the rear. So this technology, just makes things take a little pressure off of some of the key areas and makes it more comfortable for longer rides. Headroom, really, really adequate. When we mentioned on the outside, remember, it looks like it curves down, but it actually doesn't curve down as much as you think. We do have air vents in the center, heated seats in the rear on this Platinum trim. As well, we have sunshades, manual sunshades. Really like that, but I like how they've actually contoured the door handles in the front and the back too. It's very nice. Room for 3. This actually, even though it's not an EV, it's pretty well a flat floor back here. So if you do have to have a third person in the middle, their knees aren't going to be riding all the way up. It's actually quite good. Couple things that I did notice though, on the passenger side, you do get a seat back pocket. On the driver's side, not so much. And I'm thinking maybe it's because they're assuming that usually, whoever's driving, if they're taller, then they're going to be moving their seat back more. So by carving out the seat back area and not putting a pocket there, it's going to give the left side rear passenger more leg room. I think I don't know if that's true or not, but it kind of makes sense. Just made that up. But anyways, also this middle compartment here, not a middle compartment, but it doesn't have like a tab to pull. Like I'm finding I have to really jam my fingers in there to get it out. So now, mind you, these are pre-production models, so that may be just something that's on this early production or pre-production. But you do get 2 drink holders here, and they can, put your coffee, and you have this tray area for your phone for the rear seat passengers. So all in all, this is definitely not a back seat experience that you'd be dreading at all. Zero gravity seats, lots of leg room, privacy if you want, and heated seats. Yeah, There is no rear climate control back here though, but that's okay. I'm good with that. I have heated seats. The new Murano starts at just under $47,000 for the SV. If you go to the mid trim, which is the SL, that's going to run you $50,500 in that range. And for the top of the line Platinum, we're talking $55,000. These are Canadian dollars. And remember, all Canadian vehicles come with standard all-wheel drive. And given all the new features that we've seen and all the new technology and the comfort and the massaging seats, if you go for that top of the line, I think this actually offers quite a bit of value. You know why? Because a lot of people want something a little bit bigger than something like the Rogue, but they don't want to go full size into a 3-row like the Pathfinder. And some people might want to have a little bit more style. Well, this one is definitely worth a look at. So was the wait worth it? You know, it's been 10 years since the last one. Well, we're gonna have to find out because we still have to drive it, and that's coming up on the next video. Join us.